Following on from yesterday's video where we spoke about Avengers Doomsday potentially setting up a post-credit scene for Doctor Strange, thus would making Doctor Strange the most important character going into Avengers Secret Wars. So, there will be mild spoilers if this is true. So, if you are new around here, what the frickin' hell are you doing? Make sure to subscribe to never miss any of the Marvel, DC, Kaiju, Multiverse, pop culture based content that I try to deliver on a daily basis. You could subscribe to the channel. It really does help the channel. Also, check us out on Twitter, Warstu. Check us out on Instagram at Warstu to see the beautiful face behind the beautiful voice. And also check us out on TikTok, Warstu. So, Marvel has a secret release date that so far no other movie has taken. So, this is taken from an article where Kevin Feige said the following. The reality has changed. The calculus at Marvel, led by Kevin Feige, when it comes to making a movie like the X-Men, Thunderbolt's Helmer Jake is set to direct the tentpole, with the studio fine-tuning the script. But this is the interesting part down here. Casting will begin soon, and the field is wide open, but Marvel has indicated to reps that it's looking for younger talent rather than A-listers to keep the costs down, says another agent. Marvel is holding July the 23rd, 2027 on the release calendar for an unnamed film, but sources say it won't be filled by X-Men. Marvel declined to comment for this story. So that's interesting because we know the X-Men is going to be rebooted after Avengers Secret Wars. So the most logical reason would be it's not going to be Black Panther 3 because that's been alluded to that coming in 2028. So Doctor Strange 3 has been rumored for the longest time ever. So in yesterday's video, we went through a post-credit scene, careful spoilers, but you know what kind of channel it is. Okay, this could be true, might not be. Okay, post-credit scene for Doomsday. Doctor Strange, a dimensional portal opens in space. Doctor Strange flies out of it. He looks powerful and different now. His suit is glowing patterns, and his eyes glow for a second. He has returned after spending a lot of time in a different dimension. It's a dark dimension. And has become stronger than ever before. He has no idea about what has happened to the multiverse, but knows something isn't right. He stops in space, looks ahead. In front of him is Battleworld, a huge secret planet made from broken parts of different worlds. It looks quiet and full of unknown energy. Doctor Strange floats, stares at Battleworld in silence. He says, so this is what happens whilst I'm gone for a while. Looks like they need a savior. Well, the savior is here. He slowly flies towards Battleworld. Okay, what's interesting here is that might not be true, but Stephen Strange himself, Benedict Cumberbatch, said this recently. Well, it wasn't recently. Cumberbatch absent from Doomsday has nothing to do with the character not aligning with this part of the story. Although, they probably shouldn't be saying this. Okay, he actually is confirmed to be in that movie now. Okay, he's quite central to where things go, Cumberbatch teased. He hints that the character last seen casting spells in Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness will appear in a third standalone film, but he hesitates to say much beyond praising Marvel being collaborative. They're very open to discussing where we go next, he says. Who do you want to write? Who do you want to direct? What part of the comic lore do you want to explore? So that Strange can keep evolving. He's a very rich, complex character, contradictory, troubled human, who's got these extraordinary abilities. So they're potent stuff to mess about with. It's also worth saying that throughout that potential plot lead, we'll just talk about it like it's real. It seems like Strange really isn't going to have much of a role because his role is going to come into play in Secret Wars. Now, we are spitballing and theorizing here. So if Doctor Strange 3 does come in between Avengers Doomsday and Avengers Secret Wars, then this makes the most sense. So everyone seems to think it's going to be Doctor Strange, time runs out. So Doctor Strange is the savior of multiverse. But in Multiverse of Madness, he was the person that could destroy the whole multiverse. So he's got to have a movie. And we know this movie's coming because he's confirmed it. Whether it comes after Secret Wars or before Secret Wars is neither here or there. So a lot of people seem to think that Black Priest storyline is going to be involved in this movie, which there are a group of powerful reality warping beings from Marvel Comics. And there's speculation about their potential inclusion in Doctor Strange 3. In the comics, they are practically powerless individuals, but as a collective, they can destroy realities. Each priest is associated with a specific word that is used to cast spells. And when a priest dies, that word is lost. There's discussion about whether Doctor Strange could become the leader of the Black Priests, which would make him a very powerful force. We already know this. So when it comes to reality warping. The Black Priests are known for their reality-altering abilities. They can destroy entire realities with a single word. Individual power. Individually, they are limited in their power. Each priest represents a single word. Collective strength. The true power of these Black Priests lies in them collaborating together as they all combine their words to create powerful spells. Doctor Strange's potential's role. Some people speculate Doctor Strange could potentially become the leader, which would make a very interesting plot point for Doctor Strange 3. As we know, you could say the spell in No Way Home caused all the ongoing and forward-going incursions that we're going to see in Doomsday. But you could also say that what happened in Doctor Strange 2 with the whole going to another reality, with Wanda Maximoff, so on and so forth, you could also hypothesize or theorize that that's got a lot to do with setting up what's going to happen in Secret Wars. Because Doctor Strange, if they were to do the Time Runs Out comic book arc in Avengers Doomsday, there is just too much to cover in said movie. Now, people like Alex Perez have hypothesized about Doctor Strange 3 being in the running to be essentially what turns out to be Doctor Strange 3. Although there's no timing of when this movie will be released, it would make the most sense to release this movie in between Doomsday and in between Secret Wars. Because it's worth saying that ideas behind the scenes at Marvel changed massively and always change. But when they pivoted away from the whole Kang storyline, I think it changed a lot of the other storylines because everything's got to be cohesive, which is a good thing, but it's also a bad thing. So, Stephen is a threat to the multiverse, established as the common denominator when it comes to incursions around the multiverse, aside from the Council of Kangs, which technically are still there, right? So the main reason for the decay of the multiverse is due to incursions caused by Kang. Okay, that's still there, right? Although they've kind of taken away from it. It is unknown when this film would come out, if it's going to come out at all. But seeing as Stephen Strange, Benedict Cumberbatch himself, has predominantly already said that. So we know the end of the movie was the reveal of the third eye, a post-credit scene with Clea, played by Charlene Theron, seeks out Strange for causing incursions, requesting his help to jump into a portal for the dark dimension. And still, if they're going to spend all that time in that place, and if Doctor Strange is the post-credit scene, and if this potential theory stroke leak is true, it would make sense to place whatever Strange is doing after Avengers Doomsday and have him appear right at the end where everything's already massacred and Battle World's already been created. It would make a lot of sense to do that. Now, I know I'm just spitballing and I've got no actual proof, but if they don't do a Times Run Out in Doctor Strange 3, they're going to have to adopt some of that, some of what happened in that inside Doomsday, but inside a 2.5-hour movie. There really isn't enough time to introduce the Black Priests, have the HQ named as like the nothing space of destroyed universe, which exists within the space of two dead universe caused by incursions. It will be revealed in this film, if this film ever is made. The multiverse is dying, likely cause of the decay incursions causing around the multiverse. The most recent one was caused by Doctor Strange. The film will also elaborate on a point made in previous film regarding Strange and him being the greatest threat to the multiverse. Stephen Strange, and he is the greatest threat to the multiverse. So it was made clear in previous movies. Christine Palmer from 838 researched Stephen Strange is one of the most dangerous threats to the multiverse. However, they have yet to specify how exactly he was dangerous outside of what Strange 838 did. The up-and-coming sequel will explain how Strange is a threat to the multiverse by establishing him as the common denominator when it comes to incursions around the multiverse, aside from the danger that could be Kang and has now been pushed into Doom, but that's irrelevant because it's still there. So it could be a case where Strange is a threat to Doctor Doom and Secret Wars is about fixing and stopping Doom from ruling this new world, this battle world, but also Strange could be the big protagonist in Secret Wars. We don't know, but Doctor Strange 3 is going to come out at some point, even if it doesn't come out in 2027. Good chance it could, because I can't see it being Thor 5, can't see it being Black Panther 3, can't see it being X-Men. So what else could it actually be? So like always, guys, bit of a theory video, but also there is some kind of factual information there. And a Time Runs Out storyline in Doctor Strange 3 coming out in between Doomsday and Secret Wars would make the most sense. So like always, guys, check us out on Instagram at Warstu, check us out on Twitter, WarstuG, and I will catch you in another video very soon, guys. Catch ya later.